Hey there YouTube, AJ here. Today we're going to be putting seats into my 1927 hot rod. Now, what I'm sitting on was a brand new truck seat that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace. And I actually bought 3 of these for, I think it was 40 bucks a piece. These seats came in a truck. A guy who was running a business, he said he took these out immediately and put in better seats for his drivers. But this thing is only 31 inches wide, so it's either made for 2 very small people or 1 big person. I don't know. Anyway, the seat itself is actually very comfortable. Now, I could have went the traditional, 3/4 inch plywood and glue some foam on it, cover it, blah blah blah. But I really want these seats to be comfortable for longer road trips. I do plan to drive this car on long road trips all over the country. So I wanted seats that had a little more modern technology, definitely focused on having some comfort to them, and also being light at the same time. So I went and looked at these seats. They all came on the mounting base here. These seats pivot upward for storage underneath, which is something I need in my front seat. I'll show you in a minute. I don't need these mounting bases, obviously, but it's a lot of good heavy metal that I can use in other projects. But when I got these seats and went to check them out, I kind of would feel through the foam and try to feel the frame to see if I could actually take and widen it. So the goal is to take 3 seats and make 2, because I'm going to take 1 for parts and widen 2 others. If you look at the back of the seat, you cannot see what's inside, so that's why I had to kind of guess. And obviously the guy wasn't going to let me just disassemble one of the seats there to see if I wanted to buy it, so I had to just go on my instinct, what I thought. And then one of the first things I did when I got home is I took one of the seats and I took it off the base. I stripped it down. I removed the seat covers. Got these here. So these seat covers are still, I just removed the hog rings that held it on. So these seat covers are still good. That's the one for the seat back. You can see it has like this carpety material in the back, but these are still good use. And then underneath we had our foam. Oh, this is the seat back foam. And then we have the foam for the bottom. So after stripping this off and looking how this is made, I decided, yeah, I can take these square tubes and cut them and widen it. So shouldn't be too hard to cut this and the seat back and extend in the middle. These seats are about 31 inches wide, and I need my seats to be about 37-ish. So the plan is to cut here, 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 and extend this 6 inches using the third seat. So we should be able to take and get 6 inches from one side and 6 inches from the other side and add that into the other 2 seats. So now let's go into the garage and take a look at the hot rod and see how what we have available to mount these seats. So this right here is a front seat base out of a Model A, and I got excited. I was just going to tack it in here after I got my floor in, but I kind of already went ahead and full welded it in, so hopefully this is going to work. My seat itself is going to rest on this, giving me a space underneath the seat for small storage, and I plan to put all of my fuses, electronic stuffs underneath the seat for keeping it hopefully dry and out of the way. I'm trying to avoid having a bunch of stuff shoved up under my firewall, because the footwell and space under there is already going to be really tight. Plus I'm thinking I may add a heater, and it's just going to be trying to avoid putting stuff up in there because it's already going to be a lot of stuff in there. So these brackets here, there's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, those used to stick straight out, and that's where the original seat attached to. These were in my way a lot when I was working, doing my stuff, so I just took my heel dolly, stuck it in here, and bent these over 90. But now I'm planning on using these to mount my seat and make it to where it'll still hinge up. And also I want to make it, when you pull the bottom up, you can lay it forward to get access behind here. And that's needed for something I've got in the long-term plan. What at first I thought I was going to do was just weld tubing straight across, and I didn't like the way that looked. But then I was traveling for work this week, and I was in a training class, and during the training class I started doodling on my notebook and just trying to think of how alternate ways I could mount the seat using those brackets and still make it kind of look good and be strong and functional and safe, etc. And while I was doodling, I came up with this picture, and this picture I kind of started putting together. I got a good idea of how I was going to mount my seat, and that's what we're going to try to get done today. Okay, now this seat, I already took and chopped off the legs that hold this on, because these were like another 6 inches longer, and they extend down into that mounting box and bolt on that way. But I chopped the legs off here just so I could get this seat in the car and sitting where I needed to sit, just to kind of prove out my concept that this is going to work. Let me just show you. Okay, so we got the seat in here. Obviously it's still not wide enough yet, but you can see we've got 3 inches or so on each side. We need to bring it out, but you can see how the seat's going to fit in the car. And I've got it where the back is right at the top of the compartment separator, bulkhead, whatever you want to call that, and it's at the right height I want, and it sits pretty good. Now it also, from this position, will still fold up. Steering wheel's in the way obviously, but that'll fold up. I'm planning to make a quick release mount from my steering wheel, so that'll fold up, and then when this is up it should roll forward as well. So I'm going to have basically have the back mounted on a pivot point, and then when this is down, the seat base will lock into the Model A seat base down here. Now in terms of sitting in here, it is a little high, so I'm going to have to reduce the height of the foam. I don't think that'll be too hard to do, but probably want to reduce it 1 inch to 2 inches to get a little more in the car feel versus on top of the car feel, and also to give me a little more clearance under the steering wheel. Now when I mount my quick release, I've already looked at that. That's going to put my steering wheel at least another inch up, combined with 1 inch or 2 going down. I should have plenty of room under the steering wheel at that point. And this is the coupler that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be modifying the steering wheel, this coupler, to be able to use it as a quick release on to get the wheel on and off, so I don't have to fight to get in and out of the car, because with the steering wheel on here, trying to get into the car from the driver's side is very difficult, even for me. So I want to make that process easier, so where I'll be able to just reach on the steering wheel, pull this, steering wheel comes off, get in, get out, no problem. So we're going to be doing that in the future, but anyway, for now, let's go ahead and start doing what we need to do to this front seat to actually get it in here. First thing we're going to do is take this bottom cover off, and to do that you just gather up some weapons of destruction and start taking these hog rings and either cutting them or prying them apart. When I did that first one, I found it was easier just to kind of grab them and pull them like that and just make them separate. I kind of use the frame over here as a lever, and then they come off like that. Some of them though you can't get to like that, so you have to end up actually cutting them and then taking them out that way. So now that we got all these hog rings cut off there, we can remove the seat cover. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and take the bottom apart from the back. Come on. All right. Now we can go ahead and voila, we have another bare seat frame. And we have a cushion. Now these seat covers are very well made. They got this plastic tube through here that the hog rings go around and then attach to the frame. These are actually very nice seat covers, and I do plan to reuse them, not permanently. I do plan to eventually do my own interior in this car, but I think after I split these frames and get those all set up, I will cut these seat covers in half as well and try to learn to sew my first upholstery by extending these seat covers for use in here for a temporary measure. Anyway, there's that one done. We got all the hog rings off there, and then there's like a bracket here where the two seats mount together, where you have to get that out of that little slot for that. And then we start taking it apart. And because this is a full cover, it goes completely around it, it's a little harder. But there we go. Now this plastic on here is I've seen this on other channels. It's an upholstery trick where they put that plastic on there to make the cover slide easier over top of the foam. We're just gonna take it off. The foam on here is glued, so it needs a little more work to get free, especially if you're trying not to tear up the foam. So basically, how I had to do this before is work a section where I could get my knife through, cut the glue, not the foam, and just keep going around it like that. And I won't make you watch this because it's going to take me a while, because I don't want to tear up my seat foam, because I do plan to reuse it. So we'll fast forward to where I'm done getting this off. Okay, got that foam off there. Let me tell you now, that wasn't fun. That took a while and it wasn't easy to do. Anyway, I don't know what kind of glue this is, but man, it is really good stuff. So next thing we need to do, I think we're basically at the point of no return. We need to take this, cut it in the center, and take this, cut it in the center. Let's start by finding center. Not quite a half. Okay.
Let's see what this is just going to be. Pretty simpler. 15 to the center of this bar. Just about dead center. Okay. What about here? How do we go about it? Let's measure from there. 14 and not quite an 8. Here.
I think what I want to do here is maybe cut it 6 inches on either side of this and cut this off 3 inches on either side. Holy crud. Did not want to come off. Now, GoPro stop recording. Okay, so now we need to go cut 6-inch pieces to complete the bottoms, or to put them back together. Alright, so I cut out two 6-inch extension pieces out of what's left of this bottom. This, I left these parts longer on purpose because they overlap. I went ahead and cut the one out for the back to use in the back seat when the time comes. That way I have a lot less scrap to store. Anyway, this would be a keeper. And then over here, I cut these pieces long on purpose. This will go in and get welded in here, and then I'll be able to attach and weld these bars together as well. So that's going to be the bottom. Now I got to figure out how to get two 6-inch extensions out of this piece. Now for this piece, obviously we can't come over too close to this edge because of the curved bar. We have to have a straight bar in the middle. I think what I want to do, let's see, how much, yeah, what if we get here to here? So in order to get as much structure from this left, I think what I want to do is take 6 inches from this piece here over, providing, hang on, we come up here. Do we have 6 inches before the curb? Yes. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to start here, come straight up, and we'll cut these long so we can use those. But we'll basically have a 6-inch piece here, and a 6-inch. This piece won't be attached to anything. It'll be completely separate. Because once we cut this and this and this and that out, this stuff will all be attached to that. But I think that's the best way to go. So this 6-inch up here really doesn't matter. It can come out of any place. So we got our top 6-inch round pieces, one for the front seat, one for the back seat. And then we got 2 6-inch bottom pieces with this extra bracing on it. So if we come back over to our seat, we're going to have a 6-inch piece in there. We're going to put that piece back into the center. I guess it goes the other way around. Like that. We'll weld that back in there. And then we're going to have a piece like so. And we'll have to use whatever we have left over to tie this stuff back together. Maybe we'll put, this will be the driver's side. Maybe we'll put this corner over to the driver's side. Use this piece like so. And then we'll take a piece from the leftovers and continue this one up to here. However we do it, you know, I think that's kind of the plan right now. But we have our pieces now for the front. We have our cutout pieces that we saved for the back for later. Let's clean some of this up. And with these scraps, I also have a head start on building myself a walker. So when I permanently mess myself up, I'll be able to get around. Okay, now we have to figure out how long a piece of that U-channel we're going to need to make in order to mount this thing. Let's hope it's no more than 36 inches, because that's what my Harbor Freight metal brake will bend. If it's longer, it's harder to do. So the tape measure between our mounting points, and it is 34 5/8. Good, good, good. So I think what I'll do is just go ahead and cut up a piece 36 inches long, and then we can, once we fit it all in, we can trim it to exact what we need. But yeah, we should be good to go. We're getting there. Okay, so we got this channel bent up. There are some places we need to notch the flanges for to go around the brackets. We're going to mark those right now. This is center of the piece. I also want to mark where the brackets are in general, because I'm going to lay out some holes, and I don't want those holes to be over top of the brackets. So I'm going to put some holes for strength like this, and just for looks and make weight savings. But so basically probably 3 holes like that will do it. Hopefully that'll get us fit up. I will go do all that and come back to you later. Alright, so after I turned off the camera yesterday, I went ahead and fattened up this piece. This is what's going to cross all our seat mounts in the back, and got holes in it here to spot weld it to those brackets, and we'll get that welded in a little bit. But first, I also went ahead and cut apart the other seat, stripped it of the covers and the foam, cut it apart, prepped it, and so I decided just to go ahead and make the back seat while I'm doing this. Makes sense. But anyway, that one's all cut up, so now we can start welding these things together. Gonna start with this seat bottom here. Got a piece of angle using to keep the front part in line. I'll weld this one up, and then afterwards we'll turn it around, we'll do the other side. I successfully took 3 seat frames and made 2 bigger ones out of it. These are about 37 inches wide, and this one's going to be the front seat. That's why it's lower. I have an idea of how I'm going to mount that one, so I cut the legs off. This one's going to be the back seat. I don't know how I'm going to mount that one yet, so I left the legs long. But when I was welding this one up, I realized 2 things I forgot. Let me put it in the car and I'll show you what I forgot. So up here in the front, we're looking good. It's down a little low right now because I've cut off the ends a little more. That's going to be lifted up to about there when it's ready to go. That way this will be able to function the way I want. And then when this is up, this will also pivot forward. So it mounts, and then I got to make a piece to cap the ends of that and go down to the floor, which is at where these where the seat will actually mount to. So that's what we had to do up front here. Now back here in the back seat, we have a couple of problems. One, I forgot it's too tall because it's going to be on top of my gas tank, which makes the seat back way too tall. So we got to cut this down. So we'll probably have to cut out a section in the middle here to get that down once we figure out how we're going to mount it. 2, our fuel filler is going to be where the seat needs to go. So I have to make some kind of concession in this area to where that'll be able to scoot back, and then I'll have a hopefully be able to hide it with upholstery or whatever. I don't think it'll be too intrusive. I think it'll be, you know, just kind of a bump here in the middle into the seat. I don't think it's going to be a lot though, but I don't want to get into that until I know how I'm going to mount this. And so we're going to put all that off right now. In fact, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to kind of say to be continued here, because I am hot and tired and I got something to do, and I got to put away a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be traveling again, so I got to get this video out. You can see already, now this is without any cushion. I've got a lot more room. I'm sitting much deeper in the car. Now I know that's not going to be the long-term solution, because I'm going to have more here. But I think I'm on the right track in getting my seats the way I want them. So I guess for now we're just going to say leave these seats where they're at, and hopefully when I get back in town I'll be able to finish them up for my next video. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate your support. Please like, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe. That really helps the channel. If you can subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. Just hit that subscribe button, and away we go, and that really helps me get more exposure, keep my channel growing. Next time we'll keep going, and we'll get these seats, pretty much everything except for the upholstery. We're going to get the foam cut in, we're going to get these mounted, and get our foam the way we want it. And then upholstery is probably going to be a separate video, because I got to learn how to sew. I don't know how to sew. So until then, YouTube, later.